I'm sure your kids, maybe, if you have kids, have done something that, well, messed something up. You know, like drawing on the wall. I don't know, doing something to one of the appliances in the house. Backing a car up in a car lot into somebody's other car.
Ooh.
Like what happened to Ben Affleck's kid.
Yeah.
Ben was looking for a car, Ben Affleck. And so he brings his 10-year-old with him, and they're looking for cars together. He sits down in this really fancy car and backs it up. The 10-year-old backs it up into somebody else's car. Whoops.
Why was it even started with him behind the wheel?
The 10-year-old. So that was an innocent thing.
Yeah.
Nobody meant it. And I started thinking about my own kids and some of the things that they've messed up along the way. I don't know if that's even happened to you. I'm sure it's happened to Lizz's kids.
Oh, my goodness. So I won't call out which child, but one of my children was angry while we went to a furniture store. Mm-hmm. And as soon as we walked in, had a little temper tantrum.
Oh, Luke.
Hey, no, I'm not calling any of them out. I'm not confirming.
I named it. I got the right one.
Not confirming
or
denying.
I got the right one. But she only has 3.
This child, I only have 3. This child walks in, takes the fingernails
Luke
on an ottoman, a very expensive ottoman, and just rakes all 10 fingers down the ottoman.
And?
Oh, there were 10 little digs into the leather on the ottoman.
Oh, and you could see the...
Oh, you could see it.
No.
And, of course, we freaked out, but they were very kind and very gracious in the store.
Yeah, they were. It's not like a Lamborghini a 10-year-old backs up into somebody's car, but, yeah, it's still leather furniture.
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
After hearing that an actor's kid backed up a car, a very fancy car, into somebody else's car in a car lot because they were looking for cars for their family. Well, I guess for the dad.
Yeah.
Because it was a really big, fancy, it was Lamborghini. It's a Lamborghini, and it was yellow. And his 10-year-old backed it up into a car. Rob and Liz, his morning crew on his radio. So we're starting to hear about, some of those things that our kids accidentally messed up very innocently.
Yeah. They didn't mean to hurt anything or anybody. So Roy texted and said years ago his sister's 3-year-old wrecked their car. Baby brother was in the back seat. Yep. The police report said the 3-year-old was in control of the vehicle during the incident. And what happened, she had left the diaper bag inside. I've done this. You forget something. You're like, you're going to be fine, kids. She ran inside the house to get the diaper bag and crashed.
That's when the child thought it was going to drive.
Well, it just accidentally hit it into gear.
Keisha's here at 800-447-7234. What happened, Keisha?
My son, just before I was supposed to move out of an apartment, he drew Sharpie. He used the Sharpie on the wall all the way down the hallway. Beautiful art, but it was a Sharpie. And I had to move in. When the landlord saw it, she was furious, and she was like, well, I'm going to keep your deposit. But by the time they came back, I had used everything I could think of, including, which fixed it, was insect repellent. The spray insect repellent. I sprayed it on there, and it took all the green Sharpie off the wall.
So off really did get the Sharpie off the wall. That's great.
It did. Yes, it did.
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
All these things that the kids will do innocently, of course. 800-447-7234. This is a great text.
Yeah, Amy, I think her son was just a little bit bored, said she had him in timeout in his little timeout chair in the corner. And when she came back to tell him it was time to get up, you've been there long enough, he had pulled off maybe 100 or so strips of wallpaper.
No, Amy.
They were all over the floor, and I can see his little tiny finger just scraping at it, like not malicious. He's just bored. And finding something to do.
Now timeout is in the middle of a room.
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
Interesting in this one. It has to do with your nose. Rob and Liz, his morning crew on his radio.
Sorry. Oh, 50 cents. Pretty much that's what happened to this kid.
Liz just sneezed, in case you didn't catch that.
He sneezed, and out pops basically the size of a dime. Didn't know it was there.
Huh? How do you not know?
Did not know it was there. He said, he told his mom, he's like, well, I felt something kind of weird and it felt a little hard in there, in his inside of his nostril. Didn't know what it was. And then as they started talking about it, and he goes to the doctor and he's telling the doctor, he said, I do remember maybe 3 or 4 years old, I shoved a coin up my nose.
That was it.
And that was it.
Wait a minute. How old was he now?
14.
He's 14 and sneezed out that coin that he put there a decade ago?
Yeah, like a dime in his nostril for a decade. Have you not sneezed before? How far did you push it?
Huh.
Kid.
I remember putting peas and corn up my nose.
Why do we do this?
I wonder what happens if I sneeze now.
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
I have a question. This is an honest question. I don't know what this is. Tahini seed.
So you can use it in lots of different recipes, like Middle Eastern, maybe in a hummus or
So
some
it's a
African
seed?
dishes. Right, like a poppy seed or something like that. But you can also make a nut butter out of it,
Kind of
even
like
though it's a seed.
oil or something like that?
Once it's ground down.
The reason why I ask is because 150 gallons of it spilled all over the road in Jersey the other day.
Oh, wow.
They had to clean it up.
That's honestly.
It's like an oily kind
Yeah.
of mess. I'd never heard of what a tahini seed is, let alone that you can make it into an oil, let alone that if it got into the sewage system, it'd be a mess.
Oh, I would think it would be quite a mess.
And the fire department had to, when they came out to help, clean up or whatever was going on with this accident, they're like, we got to stop it from going into the storm drain. And so they had to improvise to keep this tahini seed oil from going into the storm drain before the whatever crews had to come and suck it all up.
Yeah, I guess like if you put all of that in your disposal, it would cause quite a problem. So
Yeah.
it maybe works the same way. I've never thought about it. I've never actually used tahini seed. I've just seen it used. But just like an almond butter, all the oil kind of
wait a
rises
minute.
to the
So
top.
here's one thing you don't know. Liz does Liz's Ugly Bakery on Thursdays.
Yes.
So I'm wondering if Liz would put tahini seed in one of her baking things one day.
I would almost think that it would be more of a savory dish, but maybe I could make a bread
Savory
with,
dish, like steak or something?
well, like
I don't know.
hummus, yeah, or to season something like steak.
Can you tell? I have no idea what I'm talking about.
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
I love musicals. I love watching Broadway shows. This one, I don't know if it's going to translate for me or not, but Back to the Future is now a musical.
Really?
Yeah, it's actually been one, I think, in London, and now it's coming to the States. But yeah, it's the whole story. And they say it is a full musical. So like Marty McFly sings and Doc sings
And
there's
Biff.
Yeah, and there's big productions.
Really?
Yeah, so dance moves and all that good
I
stuff.
wonder how they'll go through it. I mean, are they going to do all three in one musical?
No, they are only going to stick with the original Back
The
to
very
the Future.
first one, huh?
Yeah,
They got a
movie.
DeLorean and everything, I'm sure.
Listen, they have everything. They even have a set where, where Doc and Marty are out by the mall and they're in front of a JCPenney. They have the JCPenney sign there.
Oh,
So it's
really?
very
Crazy.
iconic, which is super cool. So
I
I'm
wonder
looking
how it
forward
would
to
sound. 2,100 gigawatts, 2,100 gigawatts.
You know what? Very close.
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
The owner of almost like an RV park or a campground in Australia, he was getting some of the tenants that were staying there off. They were going to be leaving. They were done with their vacation, so they were going to be leaving in a helicopter. And as he was getting them ready to go, a crocodile comes up on the shore and kind of aggressively comes at them. I think crocodiles are fairly aggressive from what I understand. And so he just grabbed the first thing that he had, grabbed a frying pan.
Okay.
That's what he fought him off with.
He fought the crocodile with a frying pan?
Yes, exactly. He hit him right in the snout. And at first the croc was kind of like, bring it. I'm here for the fight. And when that frying pan hit this crocodile in the face, Croc's like, okay.
I'm seeing
out,
this.
mate.
The guy hits him like twice, right on the snout as the crocodile is coming after him. And then it takes 2 swats with a frying pan,
And he's gone.
and the crocodile runs for his life.
I've heard like if a shark, if you're swimming and there's a shark, that you punch it in the nose, and it should turn away and go. I didn't know you could do that with crocodiles. I don't want firsthand experience with this, but good to know.
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
Miguel is canoeing down a river with his family. This is in Britain. And he sees an iPhone as they're canoeing, so he picks it up, brings it home, dries it out with an air compressor, and then plugs it in to charge it. It turns on. So he took some snapshots of the screen, put it on a notice board on Facebook. Turns out some guy named Owen in Scotland, it was his phone, and he lost it 10 months ago. It dropped into that river when he and his friends were at his bachelor party. He was getting ready to get married.
How is this possible?
10 months later, the thing had mud and everything all over it. It was really cruddy. He had to clean it off and then dry it out.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I can't imagine that the water and the mud didn't get in all the crevices. If a drop of rain falls on my phone, I feel like it's just done.
She throws it in a bag of rice.
Pretty much.
And
It's
prays. It's like, oh no, it rained on my phone.